Hi, this is Shannon Tidwell, design team member with Basic Gray, and I'm back again with another segment of my December daily album that I'm doing in conjunction with Studio Calico as well as Basic Gray. So as I got going, I decided to add in a few more Basic Gray products, and I've got a few Aspen Frost embellishments as well as some Paper Cottage. And you can see that they really mix well together. You might not think of Paper Cottage as going with the Christmassy theme, but if you'll look at the colors, the red, the yellow, a little bit of turquoise, those will mix in great. And then, of course, the Aspen Frost because it's Christmas themed. I'm also going to mix in just a little bit of fact and fiction embellishments. Okay, well, I've gotten my album all filled up with my base pages that are ready for the actual photos and journaling. But before I get started on that, I just wanted to show you the album. As you can see, it's a pretty thick album so far. I've got a lot of embellishments in there that take up a lot of room, but that's okay because I think the more full it looks, just the more fun it looks. So let's just get started. And now, the first few pages you saw last time on the video, so I'm just going to kind of skim through those real quick. You see I've got my daily cards with the little tabs with my numbers on it that I had cut with my silhouette. So here I am on the 5th, and I've got my little card here continuing with the same theme of the tape just to reinforce the holes mostly, but that way they don't get ripped out, and a little bit of stitching. Got plenty of room on the back for some journaling or whatever I need to add. And I just try to add a little bit of something interesting to each of the pages. So you can see here that I did a little flip, just added the tape so it can, little die cut can flip back and forth. Still got the stitching all around. I trimmed one of the page protectors to make a pocket here, a clear pocket. I put some sequins in the bottom here and then stitch across the bottom so they'd stay in. 6. On this one I kind of did a little bit different. I put some sequins inside of page protector, taped all around it, and then stitched all around it. So actually the photos and embellishments will go on top of this page protector. Now remember too that I talked about that all these days can be switched around. So once I get started and I've got my photos, my memorabilia, whatever it is I want to put in for that day, if another page that's back here works kind of better for what I'm thinking, then I'll just swap them out, and it's no big deal because I've got the day reminder here on these little tabs, so the pages behind them can be switched around in any order. It doesn't matter at all. So here's another page protector. I've got room here. I can slide in a 4x4 photo if I want. I did just a little bit of stitching, a little inking on the wood accents there. And here's just a plain chipboard page with the stitching, added those little dots around it. Fun embellishment. This one I did a little stamping. This background page is actually a piece of the product packaging, I believe from the Sleigh Ride embellishments. So I just trimmed that down and used it. I thought it was a pretty pattern on the back. I stamped the December with the stamps and then added just a bit of glue and sprinkled on some tinsel. And then here I have, this is actually one of the bags that was sent with the product from Studio Calico with the kit. And I just put some tape on the bottom of it to kind of reinforce the bottom and punched holes in the bottom. And the tape can be easily lifted up, and then I can put inside whatever I want to, or just glue something right to the top or right on it, whatever I wanted. This page, what I did here, just to kind of change it up a little bit, I put the pattern paper behind this transparency sheet and then stitched around it. So it kind of just makes a shiny effect on the pattern paper there, just for a little bit of a different look. And then I added some inking wood embellishments. There's another divider page. We're on day 10. So here I used a little bit more product packaging. This is just the plastic sleeve that comes with the product. I stitched on through the little hanger hole here. I looped a ribbon and stitched it through, and then I opened up the packaging and put a little bit of adhesive on these die cuts and stuck them in there so they'd stick as kind of my background. So now once I get to this day and want to add something to it, I can open it up and add more things to the inside of this sleeve, or I can adhere on top of it whenever I want to do. So, and then I could also take like a Sharpie and write right onto the plastic on the back of these white die cut so that the journaling would show up and not show through to the front side as well. So here we're day 11. I did a little fun one on this one and punched a hole with a circle punch through the little card so that the circle on the tag would go all the way through. And here I have another page protector, and this one I just added some circle embellishments right to the front. This pin was just laying on my desk here, and so it got taped in. And here I had a little fun with this one. I actually flipped the pattern paper over. Instead of using the pattern paper on the front, I used the blank side on the front and covered it with the washi tape that was in the kit at a diagonal, and then added my tag at a diagonal as well. And then now I've got the background here, the back of it is pattern paper, so I can add journaling or whatever to that. And this one's a pretty blank page too. I've got plenty of room for a big picture and lots of journaling there. And we're on to 13. The die cuts that are with the Aspen Frost collection, the die cuts have a lot of little gift tags. And so I've added a few of those in as we go, you'll see. And I just put them right through the binder hole there. And here we have 14. And I kind of added a little bit on this page. I wanted to put in like my Christmas wrapping for this year. And since I'm kind of going back to the basics, a little retro with my wrapping, just some red and white polka dots, and then the old-fashioned trim here, and then tags for our packages. So I wanted to include that in the album, and so all I did was cover one of these chipboard pieces with the pattern paper, with the wrapping paper, and then stitched around it and tied a bow onto it and added the tag, just like I do my packages. Here we are on to 15. I had a little fun with this one. I took some of the ribbon that was in the kit and just trimmed little pieces and then stitched it down along the end of the page protector there so they come off the edge of it. Added a little embellishment. Right now these pieces of pattern paper are just kind of stuck in there just to dress it up a little bit. Once I get to this page and figure out what I want to do, I might stitch them in or, you know, add the photo to the top or the inside. I'm not sure, but they're in there right now for me to play with once I get to that point. On to 16. Oh, and I wanted to point out too, you'll notice on some of them I didn't add the tape on the front side because I didn't really like the look of the tape with this particular pattern paper, but I still wanted the reinforcement. So what I did was I just put the tape on the back side. So that way it does have a little bit of reinforcement, but it doesn't interfere with the design I have on this page card. All right, and this one's kind of fun. I just trimmed a piece of pattern paper down a little bit and slid it in. I added some stitching along the side there and added some embellishments on top. So I can slide in a smaller photo here if I want to on top of this pattern paper. There's room there. I can put something inside there and stitch it closed if I need to. A lot of options and plenty of room for journaling with a Sharpie or something on the back of right on top of the page protector. 17, I did a little bit differently. I used one of the transparency sheets as my divider. And this one is on a chipboard as well. I covered the majority of it with the pattern paper from the 6x6 paper pad, and there was a little left over, so I just covered that edge with some of the glitter tape, kind of layered on a few pieces, and then we have a border sticker, and then some embellishments from Aspen Frost. We have another page protector and some embellishments right on top of the protector there. Once I get this page finished, I'll probably add some stitching maybe to this or over here, but I didn't want to add it yet in case I did want to put in a 4x6 photo and fill that sleeve with a photo, perhaps. We'll see. I wanted to have plenty of options and not do everything exactly the same because I might have some 4x6 photos or smaller photos, just kind of mix it up. So that way I'm not stuck with just a particular size of photo for the whole album. So in here we're on 19. And this one I changed it up just a little bit. I had a little bit of fun with the chipboard. What I did was I just cut it in my trimmer, and then I adhered it back together with some tape. I left just a little bitty space, you'll see probably 1/8 of an inch between the two pieces of chipboard so that it could have a spine and bend like that, and I just put tape on the front and the back, and then I did stitching all the way around it, just stitch right over that tape so it would be good and stuck. And then for the little tab here, I used a brad. This one is from Paper Cottage, and it just overlaps that chipboard just a tiny, tiny bit, just enough to hold it down, but still enough when you give it a tug, it'll open up. And then I added in some embellishments, some little tree die cuts. These are colored with ink, these little wood things. And then I also, when I set one down after I'd inked it, I noticed it made a perfect little stamped image. So I kind of did that on this chipboard and just stamped a few of these green trees around the background. And here we have day 20. This background piece here is also packaging. This is from an Aspen Frost embellishment. I love the wood grain look, the whitewash look. So it's trimmed a little bit bigger, you'll see, than the rest of my daily tabs. Just again changing it up a little bit. Added some cute embellishments there. You can see the Aspen Frost mix well with the embellishments that are included in the kit. And I did put some pattern paper here on the back of this one just to give it a little color there on the back. And here we have another page protector. I've just stitched on a magic die cut here right on the front, added a few little rhinestones, and this snowflake over here, you can see I put it right through where the binder goes through, so it kind of overlaps, but I'll be able to put pictures or whatever inside here or right on the top. 21, I used one of the glitter sheets that we had included in the kit for this tab here. So pretty. Okay, so on this one I've got a transparency sheet, and again I used some of the packaging that came with the kit from Studio Calico. I trimmed it down. I trimmed this bag down just a little bit, and I just used some of my decorative scissors here to trim it and give it a nice edge. And then I've adhered it onto the transparency sheet. I did add a few pieces of tape just to kind of decorate it up a little bit, and then a few things here on the front. And I figured this page will be good for whenever I talk about mailing my cards or something like that. So that might not be on the 21st, but I can move this page to whatever day it does end up being. And here's my 22 day tab. You see I changed up a little bit. Just kind of did a tag there that kind of hangs loose and fun. And this page here is just a little bit different. I just went ahead and used a piece of pattern paper. I did reinforce it on the back so it's a little bit thicker, and added some border stickers there and some stitching, a couple embellishments there. So it's still got plenty of room. I just kind of wanted things a different size. Here we have 23. And I did something a little different on this one. I kind of made a pocket in the middle of this page protector. So first what I did is I stitched just 3 lines here, and then I put in these little letters, and then I stitched it closed. So these letters are captured here in the middle. If I need to, I can still slide some things in around it if I want to put some little things in, but I'll probably just add the embellishments onto the top. If I need to add another tag or something for more journaling space, I'll do that. I thought this one would be a good page for talking about addressing my Christmas cards, you know, the little letters and things. That's kind of where my mind was going when I made this page, but we'll see where it's used. Okay, 24, getting close. And just for fun on this one, I covered the back in the tape just to kind of dress it up a little bit. So here, this is a page protector, another one of the little pockets here, little baggies I use. I did stitch it on. I just stuck in some pattern paper that was left over, a little scrap. So I've got lots of room. I use this badge that says "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" from the Aspen Frost collection. So everything's mixing together really well. And here we have the 25th. So I did it a little bit differently on this one. I figured there's going to be a little bit more here. So I have 2 pages right now, but I figured I've got some extra page protectors left, a whole stack of them. So anywhere throughout this book that I want to add more pictures or more journaling, I've got plenty of room to do it. I can just slide in one of these pages. But this one is just a page protector. I didn't do any stitching on it yet because I kind of envisioned a 4x6 photo sliding in, and then maybe I'll add some stitching or embellishing on top of that. But you'll see here that I did put the December die cut on top of it, and it kind of overlays onto the 25th. So I like how that looks right now. So I'm not sure how it's going to end up, because if I put the picture in, it'll cover up that neat effect, but we'll just have to see. And then here I have a chipboard page at the end. I did pattern paper and glitter paper and put the 25th in the middle. So I've got room to put some doodads around that, and then pictures on the back, journaling, and then I can add in some more page protectors back here with more photos if I want. So that is the book, ready to be filled with our memories. It's pretty full so far, but that's okay. Everything that's in here is pretty squishable. Like this takes up a lot of room, but it's totally squishable and it won't hurt it at all to be squished. So I want this book to look well loved once it's done anyway, and I definitely think it will. So it's time to get started on our content. And here we are with day one, and I'm already changing things up. I switched the tag as well as switched the direction of that pocket on the first page. And now I'm looking for a different page for my day one content. I don't really like the all is calm, all is bright for the photos that I have for day one, so I just found a different one. And I'm going to go ahead and slide my photos in it. What I ended up doing was trimming down 2 of the photos to 2x4 and leaving the other ones 4x4, and then adhered them back to back and slid them in so they wouldn't move around. Okay, day 2, I'm switching it up again, and I'm going to go ahead and grab this little product sleeve that I wanted to use. Yes, I did trim off a piece of our tree for this page, and I'm just going to write the journaling right onto the plastic on top of those white little die cuts. And then I'm sliding in the tree piece and also a burnout light. That pretty much says it all for that day. So when I read the journaling for my day 3, it reminded me that this is the day that I bought my wrapping paper and ribbons for my presents this year. So I thought this would be a great spot to insert the page that I made with my wrapping paper and ribbon. This is probably going to be my favorite page so far. This was the day that Grayson and I made the garland for our tree, so I definitely wanted to include some of our pom-pom garland in the actual album. Just a real quick tutorial on how to make this garland. I've used baker's twine. I tied a knot in one end, put a big needle on the twine, and then I'm just going to thread those pom-poms right through. You just poke the needle right through the center of the pom-pom. Make sure you do that so that it doesn't come out. You'll have a little resistance as you poke it through. If you don't have any resistance, then you haven't gotten it through the middle and it could come off. So just make sure you get it through the middle. And so I'm just going to do a real short strand for this because I want it just to have a lot of color. Since there was definitely no room for the garland to be inside the book, it worked better dangling from the bottom, and I stapled it just right to each corner of that page protector. And here we go with day 5, the last one I'm going to cover on this video segment. You can see I made room for the photo. I went ahead and put it all the way to the edge and punched holes right through the photo so there was room for it, and then added my journaling to the back. Okay, so now you can see all 5 pages that I've finished so far with actual goodies in it, and then the rest of the album is ready for me to start filling it up. So I better get with it. If you'll stick around here, I've got photos that I've taken of each of the pages. You can see that things have moved around a little bit from the video whenever I thumbed through it because I didn't take pictures until I'd actually done those first 5 pages and moved things around just a little bit. But here you can see the still photos of the album so far. Thanks again for hanging out with me. This is Shannon Tidwell, design team member with Basic Gray. And next time I see you, hopefully I'll have this album all finished. Have a great December.